Hi, this is Bonnie, and I want to share with you another new paper pad that Fairy Hugs has created. This one is called MistyWhisk, and again, it has 6x6. It's a 6x6 paper pad, 24 double-sided sheets, 24 designs, 2 of each, and it's 216 GSM. This one has a lot of designs, scene designs on them, and also plain paper. So not really plain, but plainer design, if you want to call it that. So we're going to go, and I might have to turn the book or the pad around so you can see the different designs. And again, this one has a texture, but it is a smooth paper. It just looks like it has a texture. It's great for stamping on. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it this way and then turn it around and show you the other side. I think it'll be easier that way. So you can see this is the one side, and then I'll flip it and you'll see the other. And some of the colors are like, this is kind of like, it's like a navy, but it's a more like a jean type of a color, and then a purpley jean, and then we have like an aqua. And this one's kind of like, it's a combination of a black and a gray. And this one has a little bit of purples and aqua and green. And this one has like a light, kind of like a straw color for the moon or the sun. And then a little bit of pink, purpley pink, and then your gray and your darker gray. This one has a little bit of a purple pinky cast, and then probably a darker purple down here, almost, yeah, pretty much darker purple, and then a gray background. This one has a lot of cream, and this is like a, I want to say a jeanish color, and then orange and a yellow. And again, these have really, really nice looking. This one looks like canvas. And then this one's black and gray with a really a small hint of a dark purple. You can kind of see it there. And then we've got one that's also kind of like a sepia color with a little bit of a goldish looking color, rust. And then we have some really interesting, it's kind of like a faux wood painted look. And this one's got kind of like a green and a pink and a purple in it. And this one is just a really interesting print. If you can just see it, it's hard to really describe it. It's really pretty. It's purple, has a purple cast. And then this is our very last one. And again, it's got a purple cast, but a different design. Now I'm going to flip it, and this is going to be the rest of what you get. And it's more of a design than actually a scene. And this has got green and pink and purple. Oh, here is one scene, I'm sorry. And that kind of like gives you kind of a night moody look. And this is a purple and a green and some pink. And this is also a scene. This is kind of like, I want to say an opening from a cave and some water looking. It kind of looks that way. And rocks. And here is another wood toned paper. And it's got aqua, and it's actually got several colors in it. It's really pretty. And then here's another one, more of a green aqua. And then this one's basically kind of like an aqua, green, and gray. Then we have green and a little bit of purple. And then this one's got more of your ocean colors with aqua and green and kind of like an off-white. Then we have a green and purple, and yep. And then this one's kind of got a green, yellow, and gray look to it. And we have a purple cast, and that's it. So again, for the rest of the video, I'll pick one of these papers and make a card and show you. Okay, so I'm ready to make a card using the paper, a piece of paper from this pack. And the paper that I chose is this one out of that package, our paper pack. And what I'm going to be using for the sentiments on this card, these are all new from Fairy Hugs. And this one's called Field of Snow. This one is called Icelyn. This one is called Polar Bear Family. And this one is called Rugged Pines. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my stamping platform and show you how we're going to set this one up. I think I'm going to turn it on its side because I'm going to stamp off the side. Whoops, I'm going to stamp off the side of the paper. So I'll get this put on really quickly. And I'm going to stamp off over there. Whoops, that magnet's really good. There we go. Stamp that there, put that there. My mat moved. Alrighty. I think just to be safe, I'm going to add a little bit more of my washi tape. If I can find it. There we go. Okay. I'll make sure I get this held down because I'm using new stamps and they are stickier. Okay. I think I'll do one more. Well, I don't want to put it there. I'm going to have to put a piece of paper on this side too because I'm going to stamp off this side. And I might as well get it set up. Use that one. Okay, we're good. So this is the plan. I'm going to be using Icelyn right here pretty much in the center. And I want to make sure I allow enough room for the sentiment up here at the top. So that's really important too. And then I'm just going to stamp the Rugged Pines along this side and a little bit going up. And I'm also going to be using the one Polar Bear. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with Icelyn. There's no D. It's like Jocelyn without the J and the O. Okay, getting that lined up. Whoops, of course it's stuck to my finger. There we go, I think that will work. I think she's really pretty. Her wings have snowflakes in them, and she's just really, really pretty. Yeah, I didn't refill my pad. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I forget in between doing my videos. Okay, and it's really important too because the images stamp so much nicer when your pad is really full. You don't have to usually, well sometimes you do, sometimes you don't have to stamp it twice. Really does make a difference about your pad. Okay, that looks great. She might need a little bit down there at the bottom of her skirt. There we go. Okay, I want to show you how pretty her wings are. They're just really, really pretty. You can see she's really a pretty stamp. All right, so then the next thing I want to do is make sure I have my sentiment so that the tree doesn't take up that space. And this sentiment says, "The future lies before you like a field of snow. Be careful how you treat it, for every step will show." All right, sometimes it's hard for me to see exactly what I want. So we're going to say that looks pretty good. I am going to make sure it looks like it's lined up a little bit before I adhere it. There, I think that looks good. And again, I don't think I said I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne. I don't need these extra bits on my lid. Okay, that looks really good. I'm not going to need to stamp that a second time. All right, I think I'm going to add the little polar bear so that I know where to put the tree over here on this side. And if you look at the polar bears, there are, here, let me put the white behind it. There are 4. These 2 have the same pose, but they're facing each other, and then these 2 have the same pose, but they actually look good. Like these look good together, and these can look good together. I'm going to be using the small one right here. And I want it to look kind of like she's looking down at him, and she's looking down at him, and he's looking up at her. Like she's telling him all about the future, just like the sentiment says. Okay. Now these are called polar bears, and you can stamp them in white as well. But in this case, I think what I'm going to do is just use a little bit of Morning Mist. I'm going to have him be a little bit lighter so that I can come back in and add a lighter color maybe to him, or I'm not really sure. But I know that I'm going to make him lighter because I'm not going to have him be black. And it depends though. If I can really see this line really well through there, the walking or the mountain, I might make him darker. Yeah, he's going to have to be darker. I don't want to see. And I can still come back in and color him and make him lighter if I want to. But it does make a difference what your background is. At least I think it does. When I go to, if I color it, it's not going to do as much of a make a difference, but it will make a difference if I leave it light. Yeah, that looks good. You can't really see that. Okay, so now on to the trees. Trying to get this stuff a little bit more organized here. All right, so it really does help to have these acetates on the side to see where I want to stamp. Now, I had auditioned to this to see how I wanted to put this, so I knew kind of like how the tree would work. If you can see, I can get that wing to go in between those branches and, at that level. So I'm sure you can do that at different levels too, but like I said, I had kind of auditioned to that knowing I was going to do it in that fashion. And this is the taller of the 3. And I am going to stamp it in VersaFine Clair Nocturne. If I can get that lined up. I think I can. Even if it overlaps the wing a little bit, I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right. Move my one ink out of the way so I don't use it by mistake. And you can really see I need to ink up my pad. Refill. Okay. Yep, that's gonna work. The other thing about these trees, even though you can see them like this, you can easily add greenery around it and make it more of a full tree if you want to by coloring it in with a pencil. You can add greenery to that very easily. but it's really nice. It's got a lot of nice detail to it. I really like it. Just need a little bit more down here. Yep, I think I still need some. Note to self, please refill your ink before you start stamping on a video. Okay. All right, so I've got that one on that side. I'm going to build it coming this way. So I am going to make that one go off just a little bit. And these are working fine. Like even though this one's down below, I can even come in and shade that to make it look like it's sitting still in a mound. All right, line this up. And it's so much easier when I've already inked them to see where they line up. All right, and try that again. Just one spot right there. Sometimes there's a little bit residue because they're new on the stamps, and once you start stamping with them, that residue goes away. Yep, okay. So then I'm going to go down to the medium-sized tree. And the branches will overlap on that one. They don't have to, but I think I like it that way. Yeah, I think that works. All right. These are really great trees. They work super for the scenes. All right, we already have our moon built in the background, so we don't need to do any halo for that. I think we look really good. And like I said, I think the only thing that I would do if I wanted my bear to look more like a polar bear, and it doesn't have to, it could just be like a regular bear as far as that goes, is I think I'm going to add a little bit of pencil. And I can add a little bit of pencil to her wings at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pencils out to show you. Okay, so I just finished coloring her wings, and I also added some of the Folk Art Extreme Glitter hologram paint. It works really good. Instead of like using the small pins or the glitter pins, these work really well and it lasts for quite some time. I added it to the top of the hill and I added to the top just for highlight from the moon. And like I said, I wanted to anchor this just a little bit over here. I think I want to see which way. I think I'm going to go that way with it. I think this is dry. Yep. And I'm going to use Chip Sapphire and a blending brush. And just anchor that just there a little bit. Like that. And I think I'll anchor these over here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I could really make it look like she's coming down a path, which wouldn't be hard to do. So to do paths, you want to go on the outside of wherever they're walking, and then just use a piece of paper like I am, and just give it a little bit of a pathway, and I might make that go the other way. I want the path to be on the outside. So it sort of looks like he's actually looks like he's standing on a hill, but I'll make the path a little bit narrow, more narrow. Yeah, so it can kind of look like she's walking down a path. So, and the next thing, as you know, I like to edge the entire card. So this paper works really well for inking, and the paint I added was an acrylic paint, and that worked really well on top of this paper as well. There's a lot of choices in this paper pack for making your scenes, and then obviously there's some papers that are just for designing with. It doesn't have to be a scene. It can just actually, well, it can still be a scene. It just can also just be a background, but it doesn't have the moon or anything like that in it. You can make your own moon and your own grounding if you want. So it gives you a variety in this paper pack. So that's the end of the card. I'll just be putting that on a card base. And I'll have the information in the description below. I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll see you again later.